Hello YouTube! Today we're going to be talking about the top 5 decks that you should be looking out for at Miami Fest. I'm currently uploading this as Texas Fest is just wrapping up. We have a good idea of what the top 16 is looking like, and I'm using that to make this video because we're smart and resourceful, right? If you guys disagree with my list, let me know in the comments. If you guys agree with my list, let me know in the comments. I'm curious to see what you guys think, and besides that, like the video and subscribe. The notification bell to smash potatoes, that way you know when all these amazing Digimon videos go live. Let's get this going here. So, 5th place. Green hybrid variants. So green hybrid variants are very interesting because they're super consistent and they punish the opponent for playing cards on the board. Not as much as blue hybrid, but you know, they suspend the dude, they attack, they pierce, they do free damage. Who doesn't like free things, right? And not to mention that you can never attack their security safely because there's always something there, that's something that might punish you like another tamer. Much as like this format, a lot of tamers. Kinda weird. Anyway, green hybrid, red hybrid, and green/red included in that as well. You know, with the extra Atomic Inferno, the extra security checks, the deck is kind of dangerous. Both variants, though, you will see at the tournament, and you gotta be prepared to, you know, be careful, because you do not want an Ancient Beetle with Atomic Inferno going at a suspended Digimon with a JP. Let me tell you, that's a lot of damage.
That's a lot of damage!
Number 4, we have your typical Cherubimon stuff, the deck. Cherubimon. Cherubimon is seeing a lot of play right now. It's just kind of a combo deck. Not like, there's one combo. There's one combo. That's Digimon. One combo. And what's really cool is that, you know, if you kill Cherubimon, you basically win the game. And that's how you play the deck, really. They play a lot of tamers. It's a hybrid deck. It's not really safe to attack them. It's not really safe to let them prolong the game, because at the same time, the longer the game goes on, the more value they'll get from a Cherubimon dying and then bring back all the rookies. They bring back all the rookies and they go ham at your face, you'll lose.
You lose!
So Cherubimon is a really scary deck. Purple strats in general are really scary this format. I have an honorable mention for a purple deck, which we'll get to, so keep your eyes on that. However, Cherubimon you will see at the tournament. Yellow egg, purple egg, you'll see both probably. So just keep an eye out for Cherubimon and just know that, you know, if they start filling up their graveyard really fast with rookies, you might want to kill them. Like, immediately.
Stealth is of course optional, but so is my mercy.
Number 3, we're gonna put our red decks in that slot. Mainly red hybrid, but can also include Jessamon here. The red hybrid decks and the red decks in general like to really high roll this format. They will attack you and then hopefully have a hybrid to follow up. That's typically how the decks work, and as long as they draw their stacks and their pieces, you know, or any relevant pieces at all to make it stack it up, you know, you'll win the game. And if you can do that consistently, you'll top a tournament. That's how red hybrid works. Again, you don't want to attack on their security because, you know, you could get tamers on the field, which could punish you. Not as much as other hybrid decks, other tamer decks, they play less, but it's still kind of scary. And against Jessamon, you have a little more of a safety net attacking the security, but then you can also flip over things like memory boosts and other tamers, of course, Judgment of the Blade. So, you know, nothing is particularly safe this format. I think you guys are getting that theme by now. But the red decks can come out of nowhere and can top if they're just high rolling all day. So if you're feeling lucky and you've mastered the red deck and you want to just destroy people's faces, play red and you'll probably do well. And don't be surprised if you see the top tables, because let me tell you, that shit's scary AF. Number 2, the deck I'm putting second on the list. It's very close, but I'm putting yellow and yellow-purple hybrid variants there. The yellow hybrid deck is all about healing. It does healing, and it has tamers that you don't want to hit in security, and it's got a lot of ways to gain memory through their tamers by making sure they're just a little bit less than you, but controlling their healing so they don't die, which is kind of just aggravating.
Let's go! We back, bitch!
Then their big end, you know, yellow boss monsters, the Dynasmon, the freaking whatever, Seraphimons, you got Susanomons. You know, the deck is really good for a reason. It's definitely tier 1 for a really scary reason, between the tamers and the healing, and of course the removal. It's a big scary deck. It just controls everything until they're ready to kill you with multiple hybrids in a single turn. You look at a yellow hybrid deck and you look at yellow and you think, oh, it's nice and peaceful, sunny attitude, you know, just a nice experience. Then they fuck you up and it's not a nice experience anymore. So just make sure that if you're going in a tournament with anything, make sure you're prepared for Yellow Hybrid, because it's one of the most popular decks of the format, because it is tier 1, top tier, and you have to just really consider that matchup and consider what they'll do to aggravate you, because they will. They'll piss you off. I have a couple honorable mentions I want to throw on this list before we reveal the number 1 slot. First honorable mention goes to Lilith Loop.
Mommy.
Lilith Loop is one of those decks. It's basically a Yu-Gi-Oh deck, which, who doesn't like Yu-Gi-Oh, right? It's the big combo deck of the format for sure, and with the Lilith Mon deck, you have to play the deck perfectly in order to do well. If you make misplay after misplay after misplay, you won't. Or if you run into multiple memory denial cards, like your Gazimons and your Madoki Betamons and your Chumons, you're going to be in for a hell of a time. But, you know, if you can deal with all that and you can play perfectly, you'll end up doing fine. The other honorable mention I want to give, and I can't believe I'm saying this on a video, X Antibodies. There is a X Antibody player that did really well, that's doing really well at Texas. And obviously that proves that the deck can do really well at Texas. What you gotta know about the deck is that it has a draw card that draws a lot of cards, and it's a big stack deck that just, like, attacks for a lot of security with a very high, big number. It's a big black tower. Yep. All you gotta know is just kind of kill them fast before they get their big black stack, and you're probably fine. I don't think the deck is that hard to beat, to be honest. Like, I've tested against it. It doesn't seem like a problem, but apparently maybe someone knows something that I don't. So, X Antibodies, they'll see more play in BT8, but right now, they're doing fine. They're doing fine. And now our number 1 pick, the deck that is the most annoying tier 1 deck of the format, something you'll definitely see in your tournaments, Blue Hybrid. It's literally like watching Disney's Frozen, because they will freeze all your Digimon in place and gain memory and get effects because of it. Between all the tamers you can hit in security, the hammer sparks, the ice wall, 1 ice wall by the way, if you see more, call judge. Between all that shit and their ability to gain a whole bunch of memory because they're gonna stun your guys, freeze your guys, and then you won't be able to attack with those guys, and they'll just stay on the field and won't be able to do anything with them, and they're gonna keep gaining memory and keep freezing your guy and keep doing things. Not to mention they have a big boss monster now in the form of a Zulongmon, or I guess Managurumon still, or Susanomon. Those are all viable options. And watch out for Hexablow, because that'll really freeze you in place. The deck is just a control deck. Notice how like the top 2 decks, the yellow and this deck, are both control decks. They want to control you.
God damn, I'm turned on.
Blue Hybrid is actually a really scary deck on top of that, because in their color, blue, they have access to both a memory blocker and a Digimon Evolution cost reducer negator. I don't know what I just said. I hope that made sense. So if you're going to be playing against Blue Hybrid in a tournament, you have to be able to answer those cards if they mess your deck, and you also have to be prepared to be patient with them and not divulge bodies to the board, because placing bodies on the board will kill you, because they'll stun them and then they'll gain a bunch of effects from them. As long as you can stay in the back and do fine, you'll be okay. Or if you can kill them in 1 turn, you'll be fine. They have no real removal unless they're playing Rattlestar or Ass Blast. Ass Blast. As long as they don't have those cards, you can like set up a turn to clearly kill them, and as long as you know you have a memory blocker of your own while you're doing that, not hitting hammer sparks and security, you're probably fine. That's how to play the deck. Now, it's obviously not that perfect because the deck is the best deck for a reason. It can still play around all that, but yeah, that's it. So in my opinion, those are the top 5 decks you gotta watch out for if you're going to Miami Fest. If you're not playing, you know, yellow or blue, really make sure you know what you're doing against those decks if you come across them. And if you're playing any other decks, you know, best of luck. You'll probably do well anyway, as long as you know what you're doing. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Bye!